Welcome, everybody, to a brand new stream here on Hooligan Radio's Twitch channel. Or if you're watching in the future, another episode of Hooligan Radio. We have a lot going on today. We're going to be doing a tournament to decide the best meme of all time. We're also going to be playing a Cryptid trivia game. And Isaiah will be taking us through some of the biggest video games coming out here in the coming months in the first half of this year. Plus a bunch of other stuff. We got a guest coming on later. Packed stream here today. So thank you for joining us or watching along on YouTube in the future. If you are watching on YouTube, by the way, you can join us live on Twitch every 3 weeks on Sunday, where we record 3 episodes. And if you miss any of the stream today, you can watch these episodes in their entirety on our YouTube channel, Hooligan Radio, as we post them in the future. But first, I've done enough talking. So Isaiah, Zach, how have you guys been the last few weeks? How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you, Zach?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing better now that I'm joined by you two. My glorious.
Dude, Zach
Bright
flirts with
Sunday.
us every episode. He flirts with us every episode, dude.
I have
Just
to. I'm
take
excited.
me out to dinner.
Excited
man.
to see you guys. See your beautiful faces, hear your beautiful voices.
We just make his day every time he sees us, Josh.
You only let me see you during the Sunday.
That's true. That's true. I do
Every
stay
other
pretty
time
hidden
through that,
from
I
Zach.
can only hear your voice through whatever we're playing or whatnot. So it's just as good as seeing us.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we have a lot to talk about today, but we're going to start off this episode. I'm going to bring up a topic here to start, and then Isaiah's going to be doing a top 3 for us, and then Zach's going to lead us through that exciting cryptid-centered trivia game that I'm excited for. The first time I get to take part in a trivia game, so I'm excited for that. But up first, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the movie scene, since that is my kind of realm here on the podcast. And I wanted to talk about Tom Holland, someone that we've talked about a lot before here. So obviously Tom Holland, most known for being the newest Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man. But have either of you guys heard anything about his latest film, the movie adaptation of Uncharted?
I saw it as one of the options to buy tickets because I actually went to a Tom Holland movie yesterday. No, 2 days ago.
So not Uncharted?
No, I did not see
No?
Uncharted.
Okay.
I thought about it for a second, but then I was like, if I go and see Uncharted and don't see Spider-Man, I'll be crucified.
Or are you holding what you saw to see a play skimp it? Or
No, I just
okay.
leaked it. I watched Spider-Man.
Okay.
I caved. I said I was off the MCU, but I was like, I gotta find out what happens to my boy. But I did see that Uncharted was in the theaters. I have not seen anything about this movie other than it being in the theaters. Like, I think the week that it came out, I saw one thing. I had not seen a trailer or anything about that. And I think that is indicated by the fact that we didn't even bring up that the Uncharted movie was coming out whenever we talked about, video games and TV and stuff like that.
Yeah. So first, before we jump into Uncharted, Isaiah, I want to get your full spoiler-filled thoughts on Spider-Man. Because it's been a few months, so I think Isaiah was the last person to see it on Earth. So
probably.
I guess if you happen to still not see it, you can hop out for a minute or mute us. But what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought that it didn't have the level of polish that some of the other MCU movies that I've seen have had. Like, just a couple things that I feel like, if it got the Kevin Feige once over, like true once over, it would have been kind of caught. Just in particular, the scene that sticks out is like, so there's the part where Spider-Man and Doc Ock battle on the bridge, and the nanobots from the suit get like put into Doc Ock or whatever. And then there's a couple scenes where like that part of the suit is gone, but then there's also a couple scenes where that part of the suit is not gone, and I'm like, okay. And it wouldn't have been a big deal, but then later those nanobots returned to him in order to complete the suit, and I was like, so that was kind of messed up. But other than that, plot-wise, I thought it was good. I feel like it gives them a good out for like Spider-Man in moving over to Sony. I feel like at that point, right, if none of those characters remember who he is, then he can kind of go off and do Spider-Man things. And I liked the end credit scene. I thought that was cool. I honestly I didn't know what was going on because I hadn't seen Venom until like they literally just kind of fucking smacked you right in the face with it. And you're like, oh, that's a fucking symbiote. This guy's like that was Venom. I get it now. So I thought
Yes.
it was cool. As soon as I saw Spider Man, everybody was like, now you got to see fucking Doctor Strange and the fucking madness. And I was like, no, I do not. I
There'll
do
always be one
not.
more.
Yeah,
There'll
one more
always.
Marvel movie until I've seen, 5 out of the fucking phase, and everybody's like, you gotta see the super movie where they kill the gods of fucking terror. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Every other movie.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. Well, obviously, Spider-Man is, its own Goliath. It's, I think, past Avatar. I think it's the third highest grossing movie ever, behind Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Endgame at this point.
Oh,
So,
shit.
and it did it in a pandemic. So, yeah, huge money there. But, if you try to make the argument about Tom Holland, people say, well, they're not going to see Tom Holland, they're going to see Spider-Man, or in this case, the Spider-Man. So
I'd like
that
to
is a
chime
valid
in here and
argument.
say I was going to see Tom Holland and Zendaya,
Yeah, you're
not
going to see
just
and
Zendaya. We
Zendaya,
know, we know.
yeah.
the
Um,
Queen.
So the main thing I wanted to talk about in this opening topic was Tom Holland and whether or not he is himself a box office draw or at this point a box office star. And his first real test was his newest film, Uncharted. Now, obviously, Uncharted is also an IP based off the video game series from PlayStation. It's not an original film or anything like that. But I think everyone would agree that the Uncharted fan base, as big as it probably is, it's probably nowhere near the level of a Spider-Man fan base per se. So there's definitely those that went and saw Uncharted just because they liked the video games, but it really was a test of, can Tom Holland bring in an audience just based on him being the star of the movie. And it does look like, at least in this case, he was able to do that. Uncharted has made $66 million dollars in the US. It has made over $200 million dollars worldwide on a $120 million budget. So it's just about to break even and start making money. And for the year, the only movies that released in 2022 so far that have made more money was the Scream sequel that came out, which has made 78 million. I think Uncharted could definitely catch up and pass that to be the top grossing movie of the year domestically thus far. So I just wanted to kind of get your guys' opinion. There's so few people now, I feel like, with movies that if they're in the movie, it's going to make people come see it. I think probably Leonardo DiCaprio is one of those few people. Maybe The Rock, right, has that star power. But do you guys think Tom Holland moving forward, if he's starring in a movie that's not Spider-Man related, still is able to draw you guys to be interested in seeing that movie?
I don't know about me personally, because I can't even think of an actor now that I would be like, I have to go see that because he's solely in it or she's solely in it. Uh, but that's just my personal take on it. But I can see how others can view Tom Holland as approaching that. Uh, I also wouldn't necessarily say that the Uncharted movie, uh, the only actor was Tom Holland. Pretty sure, wasn't there like Mark Wahlberg, Antonio Banderas, um, Sophia Taylor, Ali? Like there were some other pretty good name actors and actresses in there too. But I definitely do think he's approaching that level of taking over the film and at least bringing more advertising to a film, or at least bring more attention to a movie with his name being in it for the cast.
That's fair. What about you, Isaiah?
I think that there are a few actors that have, I think, like the draw, but I don't know if it's necessarily like I would see every movie that they would release. But there are some that I'm like, okay, I need to see the next thing that this person does. Like Robert Downey Jr. I'm interested in seeing, his next movie after being, Marvelized, and, or but is Tom Holland that level? Yeah, I think he is. I mean, like, I'm not a huge movie guy, but if you were like, hey, Tom Holland dropped this new movie, I'd be like, let me at least check out the trailer, see what it's about, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. He's a cool guy, dude. I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, because don't get me wrong, but for me to really, I it's not necessarily an actor that's name would draw me as much as more as like the director who's producing it. Like I would if someone was like Jordan Peele's new movie, I'd be like, okay, I need to go see Jordan Peele's new movie that he made, rather than a specific actor like in a role or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a whole other argument about directors, who's on that list of directors. I think for me, Tom Holland probably is on the list. I think he's, like Isaiah said, one of the most
Hmm.
likable actors right now in Hollywood. He
For sure.
kind of has that Ryan Reynolds feel of whatever movie he's in. Regardless of the role, his Tom Hollandness is still going to show through a little bit. I
Mhm.
saw Uncharted, and I think he did a good job in that movie, but he definitely also was like, oh, it's Tom Holland, in this movie. I thought the movie was fine, by the way. It's not, I've never played the game, so I can't, compare it to that. But my brother Devin, we reviewed it for our YouTube channel, Cheap Plug, Watch More Movies, and he played all of the games and he liked the film. So that's, what I'll say about that. But overall, as an actor, I think him, like I said, probably Leo, it's a very short list of people that I would have on there. So I just think it's interesting. It's been a long time since I could think of anyone that's been added to that list, because if I try to think of anyone else, I mean, I'd have to go back to like Will Smith was like that at one time. Like I said, The Rock was definitely there. So not really many new actors that pop up like that. I think Tom Holland might be the first one that at least has the potential to be that household name, in the coming decade. So that's my opening topic. But Isaiah, I'll throw it over to you to get us introduced to our first top three of the day.
Yeah, I think the last point I had there though is I hope that Tom Holland gets to that level where they want to actually use his physical character in video games, like
Yeah.
they did with The Last of Us.
Hmm.
That is what I want to play as Tom Holland in whatever is the future of his video game career. I
Hmm.
want him to get some mocap hours. I want to see the behind the scenes of him just being quirky Tom Holland in the video game booth. But today, I moved to the South, guys, and this is one of the best reasons why. The weather has already started to break. It's starting to feel like spring down here. And I know that up there in the north, you guys might get winter for the next 4 weeks. Who knows? But my top three is top three spring activities. When the weather finally breaks and it's not as cold or snowy or gloomy, what do you guys like to do? It might be a little bit more rainy, but sometimes you get you a couple days of sunshine where everything dries out and you can get the opportunity to go out. So I think we kick it off with Josh. You get the first pick, right?
Yep. Yeah, extremely excited for spring. I think we talked about it last year actually on the podcast about kind of seasonal depression and how winter was getting me
Hmm.
down last year. And it's even more so this year. There were times where I've really just not been doing well the last few weeks, and in terms of energy and those kind of things. And just the last few days, having just a few nice days in between these crazy winter storms we're having up here in Ohio, have been really nice. But my number one pick for this spring that I'm looking forward to the most is going to be going back to playing some outdoor sports. If I have to be more specific, I'll say pickup basketball. I started playing pickup basketball weekly or every few weeks with some of my friends here last summer, and then we stopped when football season started. So it's been a good 6 months or so, and I'm ready to get back to getting on the court and playing some basketball for sure.
Those were always the best whenever we were growing up and in high school. We'd go over to the park and play basketball. I was trash. Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking bad at basketball, but it
Nah.
was always a good time, hanging out with you guys. And then eventually we would be like, okay, we're done playing basketball. Let's go do something. And that's where I thrived.
You didn't call you Uncle Tito 3 for nothing.
They called me Threedo back in the day.
There it is. That one's much better.
All right. I think it goes to me. My number one springtime activity is going for a picnic, dog. Just hanging out, throwing out a blanket, eating some food. If you picked that up on the way or if you made it at home and you brought it with you, doesn't really matter. But kicking it out and being like it's finally warm enough to just sit outside and not have to suffer, goaded. And it's better than in the summer months because in the summer months, you might get that 95 degrees and you're like, oh, I want to sit in the shade. And sometimes even the shade isn't enough. That's why I think spring is a go-to picnic time. So
Not
Zach, you
many
get to go
ants.
twice in the snake draft. So I'm excited what you've got.
This one's rough for me. I'm not gonna lie. You guys already took some pretty good ones. Oddly, picnic and basketball were on my list. Um, I don't know. I'll count this as an activity. Driving with your windows down.
Yeah.
Not something you cannot enjoy really during the winter month, and something you definitely learn to miss. And the second that it just breaks enough to where you can bear it, you're going to be doing it. But if you catch it during the spring, during the best time, it's just don't need the AC, don't need it heat, just windows driving. Nothing beats it.
I think to elaborate on that point, and I'll let you have it. I like to roll with the windows down and annoy everybody else who thinks that they are also allowed to have their windows down. So throw on a little bit of bear tooth, turn the radio up a little bit too loud, and sit by those people that get uncomfortable.
Turn the AC off. Sorry, bye guys. No. Number three, or the second one for me, I'm probably going to go back. Not so much anymore, but I remember we used to wait for spring to go out and make some good parkour videos. We would train all winter long to learn some sort of new trick. Um, and then spring came and we finally were able to show it off. Uh, and those were some good times. Definitely some good memories there. So pretty specific, but making parkour videos would be one spring activity on there.
Absolutely. We had that series back in the day, one of the
The
springs we did a
spring tapes,
full,
exactly.
yeah,
The series
spring videos. We
1
did like
through
5 a
5. I
year.
bet
Yeah.
it's still on there somewhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't look them up, but yeah, it
That's
might be out
awesome.
there.
My number 2 spring activity that I absolutely enjoy more now as an adult, way less than whenever I was a kid, is I love spring cleaning. It's finally warm
Mm,
enough to get, some of that clutter out of the house, make your donation trip to your local donation place, if that's Goodwill or
Salvation
Salvation
Army.
Army
Yeah.
yeah,
or
anywhere.
something that is a little bit more in tune to your morals, then that's what it is. I love that part of the year where I'm like, okay, it's warm. We don't have to worry about, freezing while we take this stuff out to the car. So let's get some of this stuff out of here. That's what I
Absolutely.
go
Mine
to.
my first one here on the back coming back here, I have two in a row. My first one is actually kind of off of that, but assuming that you're talking more about spring cleaning the house, one of my favorite spring activities is cleaning out my car every time it gets nice,
Mm,
because in the winter there's no way I'm standing out there freezing my ass off cleaning out my car. I'm a pretty messy guy. I can definitely be messy in my car, eating something, throw it in the bag, drink a water bottle, throw the bottle in the back, and come spring, it's time to just clean it all out, vacuum it, get that car wash, whatever you need to do, wipe it down.
brand new car at
And
that point.
yeah, looking forward to it for sure once it gets nice enough out here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely a stress reliever whenever you get to clean out your car for sure,
Mhm.
especially after a long winter months.
and then
Oof.
my last one is going to be being able to plan to do things that you usually have to do during the day just later on in the day. And
Yeah.
because of daylight savings, I mean, if you want to do really anything outside that requires light, or even just the energy you have in the daytime, you have to do it before 5 p.m. at the latest. Just already driving home from going out and doing errands, whatever the case is, 5:36, I'm starting to notice it's creeping to where it's still light out when I'm coming home. In just a few weeks, it's going to get to the point where we'll be out at 8:45 p.m. and it'll still have
Still have some
daylight. That's going to
daylight.
be insane. It'll be the same
Mhm.
24 hours, but it's going to feel like 30. It's going to be awesome.
100%. I completely agree. Daylight savings is the devil. Please abolish. All right, that leaves me with my third before we get back to Zach for his third. I haven't really done this one since I was in college, but I think my go-to is the springtime bonfire, dude. Because you get the vibe. Zach threw his hands up in dismay because I think I took his third.
Disbelief.
Um, it's still chilly enough where a fire, is good. You can hang out around the fire. You don't got to worry about all of the dry stuff as much around. It's generally a safer idea, but it's a good evening activity there. And I remember doing them while we were in college, out back behind the house that Zach and I used to rent together, and I had some good times back then. So
Mhm.
I'm going with the
Damn.
springtime fire. A lot of people think about
Oh, that was safe.
bonfires in fall, but the springtime fire is immaculate.
Thought that was a safe one. Pretty impressed. So we're gonna go with my safe pick here. And spring, that's when baseball season starts back up. And oddly, nothing's more tranquil than for me than going to a baseball game. Sitting there, just taking it all in, getting a good hot dog. Uh, and especially if you get there with a dollar dog night.
Dollar dogs.
Dollar Dog Night. That's an activity on its own. Dollar Dog
Yeah,
Night right there.
exactly.
Are you
Uh,
guys going to be enjoying any good old Cleveland Guardians games this spring?
If I make my way up there in time.
Yeah,
I
not
Isn't that
Isaiah,
doesn't
but
isn't
you got a
like
baseball team in Tennessee? Where you got the Twins or something? I don't know. They're in
uh,
Minnesota. I don't even know
Minnesota?
what's in
No.
Tennessee.
We've got
Isn't baseball like
minor
locked
league.
out?
We got a minor league team here that everybody likes, but I'm not necessarily sure the major league or the lockout rules there. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they're
Yeah.
locked out. But I'm
Yeah, there's nothing in Tennessee or North Carolina it says for MLB. So you can tell this was indeed a safe pick for Zach here at the end. So
Yeah, I moved to Tennessee for the baseball, dude.
yeah.
All right, honorable mentions. I've got one. The opening of Zach's pool generally happened in the spring into summer. You know, that was good times back in the day.
Shout out to my parents.
Longboarding
it's
is
gone.
good. Is a good time. It's gone.
It's gone.
All right, cancel the podcast.
I'd have to say another good spring activity is everyone hyping up spring break every year, and then spring break just being pretty mid.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Pretty
Spring break being pretty mid is one of my favorite spring activities, bro.
I mean, spring.
yeah.
Spring, as much as I love spring more than the winter break over spring break every year.
My other very fallback plan was to say St. Patrick's Day and count that as a spring activity.
It
And
is,
I
just
would
go down
count that
the
as a
holiday
spring
list.
activity.
AKA
don't
your
That's the
birthday.
easy way. Yeah. But
It's
that's the
spring
top
if you
way
don't
out,
live in the north, bro. Like I'm
I
gonna be
guess.
very in spring by the time March
Yeah.
comes around. But I know
Well,
that for some of your birthdays it would fucking snow. So, you know,
Yeah.
not a great time.
it's one or the other. Either it's 40 degrees or it's 90 degrees. That's what it'll be.
Those are
It's
the
never
only
never
options.
70. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's the opposite of if it snowed on Halloween, then you might also get snow on St. Patty's Day.
All comes down to that damn groundhog every year.
All right. Well, are we ready to move on to the main topic here, Zach?
Let's do it. I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Absolutely.
So this week, main topic, I'm bringing you all a cryptid with a slight paranormal category trivia game. It's going to be a little bit different here than some of the ones that Josh has hosted in the past. This one's going to be made up of 3 rounds. Each round, of course, giving you points, and then the winner is going to be the one who has the most points at the end. And that sounds fun, doesn't it?
I
Absolutely.
think I think we laid down the challenge last stream of finding Isaiah's weak point, and I think Josh might have me beat in the cryptid land.
I
Yeah.
expect both of us to end with negative points.
Yes. So each round, I'll go into a little bit about the points, as well as update with the points that we go through. The first round is going to be true and false. Second round is going to be multiple choice, and then the third round is going to be descriptions, which is where I'll describe a cryptid, and it'll be a race to see which one can guess it first. Or we'll see if I can just stump them out completely.
Well, it's probably going to be the latter, but let's get in there.
Oh, fine. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin with true and false. Each true and false is going to essentially be worth 1 point. It's going to be not first come, first serve, but essentially you can just spew out the answer once you think you have it. If you get it, you get 1 point. If you get it wrong, you get minus 1 point. So, unfortunately, with it being true or false, if Isaiah were to spew it out and get it wrong, he would just take the negative and would go on to the next one here. And Josh would sit there at 0. So, yes, you can get negative points.
Rip.
All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So, number 1, the Bigfoot and Chupacabra is one of the few cryptids hypothesized to be an alien race.
True.
Isaiah gets a point.
Let's fucking go.
Wow.
Early
Can I
lead,
ask?
baby.
Can I ask you? Do we know how many true false we're going to be doing?
There's gonna be roughly between 3 and 6.
What if you
And
just
the
said
reason I s
37?
5 and 30.
Strap in.
I'd have been
All
like,
right.
this is an exam. I need to.
All right.
Yeah. The reason I say 3 to 6 is depending on how these first ones go, I can either make them true and false or adjust them to multiple choice to have longer of
Gotcha.
those.
Gotcha.
So we'll keep going. Number 2. Champ is a snake-like sea monster said to inhabit the Okanagan Lake in British Columbia, Canada. Citing
False.
true. And by true, I mean Josh gets the point. I meant to say correct.
No.
Because he's in Lake Champlain, right?
Correct. That is correct.
I
Cool.
listen.
All right, 1-1.
Shit.
I'll say you heard the wrong part immediately. Didn't even let me finish. So number 3, the famous Patterson Gremlin film of Bigfoot is supposedly of a female Bigfoot rather than a male.
True.
Also correct.
Let's go.
Okay. So this is what? Number
4?
4? Yes. Mothman's flight speed was supposedly able to reach more than 40 miles an hour on the night of his reported sightings.
True.
Oh, shit.
That is correct.
Fuck. I was gonna say true.
Oh, I hesitated on that one.
Fuck. I could have had him.
Are we tied up?
We are tied 2-2 right now. So I think we might only have one more true and false here. So the dingbat is a curse, a supposed curse passed down by the Native Americans regarding cannibalism and what can happen to someone if they were to eat human flesh. I can try to reword that because that might have been poorly said.
All right, try it. Can I get the question again?
Yes. So I'm going to try to reword it. The wingbat is the creature you supposedly can turn into in Native American folklore if one were to indulge in cannibalism.
False.
That is correct. It is the Wendigo.
Damn it. Fuck. Shit.
We were pretty good at that. It's 5 for 5.
That was, yeah. That's the creature that, man, why am I drawing a blank on the name? That PS5 game, not PS5, PS4 game with the Mr. Robot actor. That's essentially the story of the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Rami
yeah.
Malek?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't.
He was in a PS4 game?
Yeah.
He was.
I don't
And we're
remember
drawing
what
a
it's
blank
called
on it.
either. I keep thinking Dying Light, but it's not Dying Light. It's something else.
And
Until Dawn.
Thank
Until
you.
Dawn, yeah.
Very
Dying Light,
good
Until
game.
Dawn, same difference.
Sure. Much different pace.
Yeah, completely different.
So that finishes true and false. Josh is in the lead with 3. Isaiah, you got 2. Pretty good job,
lose.
everybody. No one's walking out with negative points here. And we actually have points. I'm happy that there wasn't had to be any given ones out. So next we got true and not true and false, excuse me. I did those already. Multiple choice. So multiple choice is going to be a little bit similar to the true and false. Again, you're going to be able to say the answer if you think you have it right out of the gate. But if you were to get it wrong, you won't lose any points. But the person then has the chance to steal it and can wait to have the entire question finished and hear all of the rest of the choices. If you were to get it on the first try, you get 2 points. If you get it on the second attempt, you get 1. Once you guess once, you can't guess again. All good?
Yeah.
All right. So
And
number
how
1.
many are we doing?
This one has 6.
6, okay.
All right. So number 1 for multiple choice. The nomads of Mongolia tell of an unusual beastie that lives amongst the desolation of the Gobi Desert. This creature is feared by the locals for its reputation and ability to kill at a distance. This creature most resembles what type of animal? And also, I meant to say the name of the creature. but I'm going to completely butcher this. The algae kawaki.
Okay.
Uh, A, an ant. B, a worm. C, a frog. D, a spider.
Worm.
Josh gets it with a worm.
Fuck, dog.
I apologize for the butcher of that word that I didn't even attempt to
Oh
look up before this.
no. He beat me
Isaiah,
to the
you're going a little
punch,
bit
dude.
behind.
I need a fucking button I can slam and fucking, or
You
like
got
a clicker from Jeopardy, bro.
Just raise your hand. I have you guys in the glimpse of my side. All right.
I'm just yelling it out.
Yeah, I need to get on the
Sing.
yell it out train.
All right. So number 2, the Bigfoot or Sasquatch is an ape-like creature said to inhabit the forests of North America. Other creatures of similar description have been seen and recorded all around the world. Which of the following creatures does not share the same ape-like description as Bigfoot? A, the Yeti. B, the Yeren. C, the Aswang. Or D, the Yowie.
C.
What was the letter?
C.
That is correct.
Let's go.
Wow. Good stuff. Wow.
The Aswang, and I'm also probably butchering that word to hell, is actually a shapeshifter in Philippine culture.
That's me, boy. It's in my blood, bro.
You knew that. It's in you. You knew it. Moving on to number 3. And again, you'll see that not everyone's necessarily true on just cryptids. So 3, cryptids have influenced as well as made their way into popular media such as movies and video games throughout the years. Which of the following video games does not include an Easter egg, which includes a cryptid? Fallout 76, which is A. B, Hello Neighbor. C, Red Dead Redemption. Or D, World of Warcraft.
Hello, neighbor.
Fuck.
That is correct.
Fuck. Fuck.
Fallout 76 had Mothman. Yep. Red Dead had Bigfoot, and World of Warcraft had Nessie, as well as a lot more. So number 4.
Can we get a score check?
Oh, yes. Josh, you have 7. Isaiah, you are at 4.
No!
So not bad.
I gotta lose.
So number 4. Which cryptid was supposedly sighted by 2 teenagers in August of 2016 while playing the hot game of the time, Pokemon Go? A, Batsquatch. B, Mothman. C, Champ. D, the Loveland Frog.
D.
What was the letter?
D.
That is correct.
Let's go.
What? They saw the Loveland
They
Frog?
saw the frog.
They supposedly
That's why we talked
reported
about
seeing
it.
the Loveland Frog, but it was
Wow.
later revealed that the creature was a misidentified local high school student that was in a homemade frog costume.
Jesus Christ.
They were gonna say it was just a regular frog. They
Look
had
at
never
that
seen a
Loveland
regular
frog there.
Yeah, they'd never seen a
It's
regular frog.
staring at roadkill on the side. So score update: Josh 7, Isaiah 6, closely behind.
Oh, we're getting there. We'll come back, City.
So number 5. One explanation that is often visited for certain cryptid is that creatures could be misidentified species that already exist or have gone extinct over the years. Which of the following cryptids is not thought to be a species that has once existed? The Yukon beaver eater, which is A. B, Nessie. C, the chupacabra. Or D, the Michele Mabam.
Chupacabra.
That is correct.
Fucking A.
Oh my god.
Fucking A, bro. This guy's killing me. He's killing me, bro.
Okay. I don't think you guys have had one wrong one yet.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
We're way better at this than we thought.
I thought that Yukon beaver eater was going to throw you in there.
I figured it was a platypus.
It's actually supposedly a giant ground sloth.
Oh, okay.
What is the last one? What was D?
The Michele Bamba, it's theorized it is a sauropod, which is essentially like a plesiosaur. not a plesiosaur, but essentially like an ancient dinosaur. And this would be, I believe this was in like South Africa in some location.
I would have got that wrong, so Josh beat me to the punch with the right answer. So
Yeah, keeps the podcast looking good.
yeah, dog.
All right. So number 6, and this one's also going to be very weird worded, or can be. So, and this one's more paranormal than cryptid. This is why I said added the paranormal thing. So keep that in mind. So throughout the world of an understanding of human mind, certain cryptids and paranormal things have been later or been diagnosed as some mental disorders or diseases that have come up. Which one of these paranormal slash cryptids does not have a medical condition or syndrome diagnosed to them? A, vampires. B, werewolves. C, zombies. Or D, lizard people or reptilians.
D.
What's the letter?
D as in dog.
That is correct.
Let's go.
So vampires, there's Renfield syndrome, which is clinical vampirism. Werewolves have clinical lycanthropy. And then zombies have Cotard syndrome, or other known as Walking Dead corpse syndrome.
All right.
I only knew lycanthropy, but it's fine.
And then we're moving on to the final topic, round 3 of descriptions.
So give us a score update.
So score update, we have Josh leading the way, or it currently in first place with a narrow lead of 9, and Isaiah hot on his tail with 8.
Okay, so we in this. No matter what, somebody could come home with a trophy after round 3.
Correct. So this one's also similar to round 2 in points. First guess, if you get it, you get 2, or you get 2. Second guess, you get 1. With it being descriptions and me describing the creature, essentially, if someone were to guess and get it wrong, you would just hear the end of the description. And then if you both get it wrong, then nothing happens.
Okay, and you said we could wait if you finish the description and no one answers. You also will give hints?
Correct.
Okay. And
I'll
how
start
many
to
are we
just
going
give
to do?
other things. There's 5 of these.
Fuck.
Oh, okay.
And there's a few in here that I might give out more than 2 points to because of difficulty. 'Cause those are the ones I have an odd feeling I might have to throw a hint or 2 in there, but we'll see. All right, so you're all ready?
Okay, so if you guess once and you get it wrong, you can't guess again. So the other person could just keep getting hints.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, let's get this.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 1. This creature, often seen as horse-like, with a single horn protruding from its head.
The unicorn.
Is correct.
What? Okay. All
Ba,
right.
ba, ba.
Takes
The
the
lead
lead.
is mine, baby.
Right out of the gate.
He said, what? That's awesome.
All right, number 2. This creature, 7-foot bipedal winged humanoid, dark gray to black color, 10 to 15-foot wingspan, 2 large red eyes.
Mothman.
Josh snuck it right in.
What?
Oh man,
That's bullshit. It's rigged.
taking the
This is
lead by
rigged.
1. Dang. All right, moving on to number 3. Your heart's racing. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Number 3, Dover. Oop.
Dover team.
No. We'll come up with a new one on the spot later. Reddit. Yeah. All right. We'll get a new one later if we need to.
Amazing.
Man, that was a hint one maybe too. That was going to be a rough one. All right. So we're going to move on. Another
great.
flying bipedal creature. Leathery bat-like wings. Small arms with clawed hands. Head described as being horse or goat-like. Forked tail. Often It's also been often described as looking kangaroo-like.
Wendigo.
No.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna go through these all again to make sure I have all of my description, and I'll go into the hints. Isaiah.
Okay.
Flying bipedal creature.
Mm-hmm.
Head described as being horse or goat-like. Leathery bat-like wings. Horns. Small arms with clawed hands. Legs with clone hooves. Forked tail.
Okay.
And often described as kangaroo-like in body.
Okay, I'll take hints.
Okay. So moving on to the hints. So this creature is more known to be on the east coast of North America in a swamp-like environment in the state of New Jersey.
The New Jersey Devil.
Yes.
All right.
Isaiah with the 2 points deal. Oh,
No,
sorry.
you're
With
1
the
point.
It's 1 point because I got
One
hints.
point.
Yeah. Oh no.
Are we tied?
Oh man, we are tied going into the last one.
All right, this is it.
Winner takes all, baby.
Oh man, last one. All right, man. I wish I didn't come down to this one. All right. All right, last one for all the marbles. This creature is approximately 10 feet tall, round, blood red face with greenish orange eyes, a large pointed hood-like shape surrounding the creature's face. The creature has a dark black or green body, small claw-like hands. The creature's head resembles the ace of spades, and it seems to have ripples on its body that resemble clothing.
I'm ready to go ahead with hints if you are, Josh.
Yeah.
All right. So to go out with some hints, we have that this cryptid was only seen one time, a handful of times. This was part of our series where we just had like the one-shot cryptids. To continue, this one is also theorized as possibly being an alien or an extraterrestrial. And then this creature had a odor accompanying it. And then similar to the Mothman, this creature had their local like folklore and legend sort of go off with it, so it's sort of become like a little I don't want to event or like celebration per se.
I'm going Loveland Frog, bro. I got no fucking clue.
That is incorrect.
Can you give me? You don't gotta give me the hints, but give me just the main description again.
Approximately 10 feet tall, round blood red face with greenish orange eyes, a large pointed hood-like shape surrounding the creature's face. The creature's body is dark black or dark green, small claw-like hands. Its head resembles the ace of spades, and it seemed to have clothing as well as hover.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Just throw the guess out there. It wouldn't even hurt at this point.
Yeah.
Does the chat have any suggestions? I'm curious.
I just got the chat. I just get the answer from the chat. Okay, I'll just go with. I'll just go with the Dover Demon.
4. No.
Dover
It is not.
Demon.
It is the Flatwood Monster.
Okay, yeah.
Flatwood Monster.
So, with that being said, this ends on a tie. Isaiah and Josh,
Wow.
you have tied. I can either come up with a quick sudden death question that I can find since I botched the Dover Demon answer,
Dover Demon.
or we could end this on a tie.
Here's my say, Isaiah. You can say if you agree. I think we should try one overtime question, and if neither of us gets it again, then we can tie.
Okay. I accept the terms of this overtime.
Do you like the description-based questions?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let me
Just give us one that you think both of us have a chance of knowing, but not too easy. But
That's what I was saying. I don't want to just give you.
He's
guys
a
one
frog.
that has a body shape like Danny DeVito. Let's see here.
Oh no.
All right, I got one here.
Yeah.
Guys, both ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this creature can be seen from 7 to 8 feet tall. Large, hairy creature. Bipedal. Often seen with ape-like. Large wingspan.
Ohio Grassman.
Incorrect.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Large wingspan, close to 6 to 7 feet. Bat-like wings, leathery. That's the hint. I mean, that's at least the description.
I was gonna say that's the hint. I'm fucked.
Oh man, no! What are we doing here? Do you need them again?
Yeah.
All right. So, creature, 6 to 7 feet tall. Hairy creature, bipedal, ape-like, leathery bat wings. I believe that was it.
I'm going Dover Demon.
Man, all right, that one was Bat Squatch.
Bat Squatch. Okay.
All right, I think that's a tie.
I think we're going to tie.
Which cryptid looks like a rabbit with antlers?
Jackalope.
Sorry, Isaiah wins.
What?
Let's go.
Gets that 1 point that.
Which cryptid looks like a... Oh no. What a fucking game that one was.
Man. I'm disappointed in myself with that Dover Demon question.
Dover Demon.
Just read it right out of the gate.
That's funny.
But congratulations, Isaiah. You are the first winner of one of the Cryptids trivia nights topics.
Well, the real thing is that Josh and I don't know what the Dover Demon looks like, so we would have not got the answer right because we guessed it for two different things.
The Dover Demon is essentially what we were trying to find at Gore Orphanage.
It's terrifying.
Well, first of all, I am proud of both of us because we both really killed the first 2 rounds.
You really did. I was very impressed with both of you.
But then we just both fell apart at the end.
Hey, that's fine.
Absolutely
Honestly, it was
wild.
just the last one there. A little disappointing, the Jersey Devil one. Till we had to get to the New Jersey state drop. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, good job, everybody.